So he's playing Casual 1.
So, yeah, since this is a live game with someone on the other side, we actually have to log in.
What is the other side?
The other side is our Los Angeles studio.
Oh, okay. All right. I thought you meant something else by the other side.
No.
Should I get over here?
Whatever works for you guys.
Can I get over here? Okay. I'll get over here.
All right, so today we're going to be playing the Japanese, and I guess it looks like we're going to be playing against the Allies.
Uh-oh, Japanese against the Allies.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So, in Red Alert 2, of course, it was a conflict between the Soviets and the Allies, and in this game we've added a third faction, which is the Empire of the Rising Sun.
Well, that's a good idea.
Yeah. So the Empire of the Rising Sun is sort of inspired by Japanese popular culture, and they have their own mix of units and tactics that they bring to the Red Alert
table. So this is kind of like a return to back when, at the time when you had Dune, and Dune there were 3 factions, right?
Yep. So this is another 3-faction game. So the Japanese build system is unique. You instead of sort of building out in build radius like you would as the Allies or Soviets, you create these little construction cores. You can unpack the construction cores wherever you want.
Okay.
And that's how you start building up a base. So we're going to build a power plant here. It's going to provide us power to our base. At the same time, let's go ahead and build a barracks so we can start getting some units out into the field.
Yeah, we definitely want to have units.
Yeah, units are sort of the core here, and the Japanese units are unique and distinct from the Allied and Soviet ones.
Well, of course.
So our barracks is going to build up in the game world, and we'll start forming up our economy by building refineries.
It's just like the Ordos were sneaky.
So in any RTS, of course, you need to gather resources. In Red Alert 3, you gather resources from these little ore mines. You unpack a refinery as the Japanese at an optimal distance from the ore mine.
Okay, so we're playing the Japanese.
Yeah, we're playing as the Japanese. Yeah. And it'll produce a harvester which will go back and forth and harvest resources, just like in previous CNC.
Right.
All right, let's get a little scout out. The Japanese have this little burst drone, which is like this dragonfly, which we call a deceptively cute recon robot. We can take this guy who flies, comes out of the barracks, and let's go see what our opponent is up to. While he's en route to the opponent's base, we can keep building up our own.
Sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, we're going to build ourselves a Mecha Bay core here. The Mecha Bay core is sort of where all the Japanese transforming units come out of. And the transforming sort of theme is present everywhere in their units. They have naval units that go from the water up into the air. They have ground units that become air units, and air units that become ground units. All right, our little scout made it there, but he got blown away.
I'll betcha.
It looks like it was an Allied base. He's just got a barracks and some guys coming out of it. So we should probably build some stuff that's going to counter that. So to do so, I'm going to build what we call the Mecha Tengu. The Mecha Tengu is another transforming unit. In its ground form, it sort of hovers, and it can fire, and then it can transform into an airplane, which shoots at air. So we can see how that would happen here. We got our little Tengu. We can transform him. He turns into an aircraft. He's a little bit speedier. He has larger vision range. We can get a couple of these guys up into the sky, and we can go see what our opponent is up to.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I've never seen that.
So there we go. We got an Allied dog there, which is a returning unit from Red Alert 2. We want to take him out, so what we're going to do is transform into our ground form and just gun him down. So now his scout isn't there anymore, and he has no line of sight. Let's go find the next one. Looks like he's trying to get some recon on our base, but we can take care of that pretty quick. Move our Tengus into place, take out the dogs. Meanwhile, back at our base, the Japanese have a unique teching system. They tech up right on their structure, and when they tech up, that allows them to access more powerful units.
Okay.
So we're going to tech up right now on this structure so we can access the better transformers. But it looks like while we're doing that, we're in some trouble. Allied units are shooting us, so we should run from them. So you'll notice that the Japanese, the Empire's units, have more fragile units because they are so versatile. As a result, they're a little bit more micro-intensive. You have to manage them more, and you have to run them around more. So you will be using lots of hit-and-run tactics with the Empire of the Rising Sun, if that is your faction of choice. Now that we're teched up, we can build these choppers. So we saw with the Tengus, they fire straight, and then when they go into the air, they fire straight. The choppers have the opposite. they can fire into the air when they're on the ground, and when they're in the air, they can fire down at the ground. So we can see how that might work. Here he can fire into the air. When we make him in his chopper form, he can fire down at the ground. And so he's basically one of those units that you have to constantly manage, but if you do manage him, it's going to reap pretty good rewards. So let's take our mixed group now and see if we can find that allied force. There they are. Let's gun them down. So basically, if we ever get in trouble with any of these Tengus, and it looks like we're going to die, we can always transform them into the air and fly them away. And so that level of sort of micromanagement will be good for both casual players and professional players, I think.
Got another one dying.
Oh, not quick enough. And so if it looks like he's taking too much air damage, I can move him down to the ground, but not quick enough, clearly. So that one rocket trooper is looking like he's bringing me a lot of heartache. So I'll take this guy down to repair him, and I'll build something that can take that rocket trooper out. In this case, the Imperial Warrior. Imperial Warrior is sort of the standard infantryman on the Empire's side, and he, like all our units, has a secondary ability. So you'll see even our harvesters, which just gather ore, also have a secondary ability, which transforms a little gun, which they can use to fight. When you can put the gun back, and he can start harvesting again. So let's take our little soldier here. We're going to run him at this rocket trooper, pull out our sword, and chop him to bits. We'll try the same thing with our peacekeeper here. We chopped him. We took a little damage, but we're still ready to go. All right, I want to show off some of the Imperial Navy stuff if we can. Navy's kind of like a